Hello everybody, here's a little update on what's going on at Whistle Stop Wonderland in Atkinson, North Carolina. This is Tom. My name's Tom Sapp, and I've been growing some stuff since we moved to this location about 8 months ago. I built a chicken tractor for my chickens, and we've been moving that around and getting some soil fertility back into the land. We got a little kitchen garden going over here, and we've gotten a bunch of tomatoes, and there's a whole lot of sweet potatoes growing over there, and some squash and lemongrass. I mean, it's a kitchen garden, so lots of stuff. The trees have all done really well that we planted stone fruits and apple trees around the yard. But really what's most impressed me is our okra tree. This is an okra plant, but you can see how big it's gotten. So I'm looking up at this plant right now, and it is very tall. I want to say, I think it's about 9 feet all the way to the top. But that's okra, and that's the biggest one I've ever grown in my life. And I did measure my Jerusalem artichoke, the sunchoke over here, and it's 16.5 feet. So you guys can see, it's up there. So these have been some eye-opening things that have been that we've been observing here, and it's mostly, I believe, because I put worm castings down and broad forked this area when I first planted stuff, but that's all I did. And then I put wheat straw over the top of that. But then we got ducks, and so I had the ducks in our dog cage, the little kennel that we keep on the porch up there. And so we had the ducks in there, and we were just moving it around like the chicken tractor, like we've been doing with that. And we just moved it every day to a different spot on this row. And then when we got to the end, we just started moving it back. And we were throwing in sunflower seeds and a lot of things for them to eat, like fish. We catch our own mullet and minnows, and we feed the ducks the fish. So and scratch feed for the chickens. We throw some of that in there too. But I mean, basically it's their manure that fertilized the soil, and I believe contributed to these plants growing huge. But the broad forking and allowing for interstitial space and space for the roots to grow and water to follow, like, I really think that had a huge impact. And this is like the gobstopper of tomato plants. And I know I've had a tomato plant that I've said that about before, but this one, I mean, we've had these little berries on it all season. Well, most of the season. I think it started kicking off about May or June, beginning of June, and this was planted in spring, so it came to flower very quick and started producing. And then our ducks started jumping up and eating them. So you might check another video and see where it's got the ducks. When we first got them, they were so small and cute. It was cute to watch them jump up and grab the tomatoes, but unfortunately we didn't get a lot during that time, and that's okay, because we've got a lot before and after we moved them here. So now they're out at the pond, which is another addition that we've done since we've been here. And that's working out really well, because I'm now putting compost on the shelves that we created when I dug it. And so that's going to get a lot of opportunity for riparian plants to start growing pretty quick. But over here, this is something that I did recently. The sticks that are here are to keep the chickens out. So the chickens won't get in there and start scratching when we let them out every afternoon. We let them open range around the property. But this is a winter garden that I planted, and I put compost down, and then I put some rotted horse manure and bedding that was mixed. It wasn't very good quality and not a reliable source, unfortunately, but it's been working okay. I had it sitting in a compost pile back here behind the house for about a year, or I think, well, 8 months since I've been here. So about 8 months, and it did rot a little bit, so I just used the material on the surface that had decomposed more, but it still had a long way to go decomposing it with that method. The other compost I make thermophilically, and that works out really well and decomposes completely in about 4 months total. And that's what we used here after 4 months. This compost that I learned how to make from the Soil Food Web courses, and Elaine Ingham is really producing some fast-growing plants, some brassicas. They're brassicas, and beets and some root vegetables mixed in. And I believe there's spinach. I put a lot of spinach in there too. So a winter garden, basically salads. But the rate that this is growing is great, and how healthy they look. And I've also been putting Beauveria fungi around, but I didn't put any in this bed. So it's interesting, but I did spray this whole area, this garden, with Beauveria fungi. So we have a leafhopper problem, and I was really expecting this to be stunted from the leafhoppers because we're infested. But it's miraculous to me because these leaves look untouched. These plants look healthy. And this is going to be an awesome winter garden. I'm very excited about this. It's only about 2 weeks old right now, and already I think we have maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks before some of this kale is pickable. So we can start picking from it and making small salads. All right, guys, we got some green stripe cushaw growing. This is just taken off. We've gotten so many from this vine. There's 3 vines here. There's another one growing, and there's one has actually, it had leaves across here, but they've died back, and now it's taken off from that location further down, and it has a few on there as well. But just a lot of gourds, guys, a lot of okra, some tomatoes. We had an herb garden in here, but the Japanese stilt grass took it over. But the plants are still there. There's you can see echinacea was popping up not too long ago, and there's zinnias in here. Some sweet potatoes down there. There's another squash. Whoop. But yeah, so this has worked out great, guys. And no synthetic fertilizer. I used compost. This is all extracts, compost extract, and compost. And that's stuff that I made from what I cut down on the property and chipped up with a shredder and composted, and also what my worm bin that I have back here. It's a worm bed, worm farm, and that decomposes a lot of our chicken scraps. But that's what I mixed together basically. And man, it's working great. You guys can see. And this is after being here just 8 months. And we have, don't forget that garden back there, and all the trees that we planted with the guilds. So lots of herbs around there, rosemary and blueberries over there, blueberries over here, and then a whole 9-acre food forest out there. So we've got lots of trees planted, over 100 fruit trees, rows of figs, pond that we're working on that with ducks and muscovies right now. So mallards, Pekings, and muscovies are the birds of choice at the moment. So, okay guys, this is Tom at Whistle Stop Wonderland. We have a house with a roof now. 2, actually. I did both roofs. They were both leaking, but I redid them both, and so now everything is up to speed, and we're starting to change the color of the house, doing the repairs and fixing it up. Everything's coming together, guys. Hope you're doing well. Have a great day.